Welcome back to another episode of Paint Society. Guys, today is the day we're going to be doing the official Paint Society review on the Black Widow 2.0 by Spectrum. And of course, we brought one of the hardest colors to do one of these paint jobs. But guys, I had to do it because, well, this is one of the advisors at our dealership. He knows paint, and we're going to use the brand new Harbor Freight spray gun, see how good it is, and if we can kind of trick him into believing that we use one of our high dollar spray guns, this is going to be a good one. So let me jump in and show you the spray gun. And here it is. This is a 2.0. You can see that the box is much smaller than the original version. Now, I made my way over to Harbor Freight, and well, when I got into the aisle and I looked, and I really could not find this gun on display, I kind of got a little bit upset at first because I didn't think they actually had it yet. But I talked to one of the associates, and well, guess what? He brought me this box right here, and here it is. We're approved, and we're ready to go for this Black Widow. Now, one thing I don't want you guys to really buy into is that you need 2-3 spray guns if you're a do-it-yourself or even a beginning professional. Yes, it's fun to buy spray guns, but you only really need one. All you gotta do is really give it a good cleaning in between coats and you'll be fine. Now, first and foremost, I like the direction that they're going with this spray gun is that they're not bringing the big cup. A lot of guys just don't use the hard cup anymore. We're using the PPS cups, and of course, this is a certain way to obviously make a little bit more money. The cups are sold separately, so they're not going to give you that option to even use the hard cup. So if you look real quick at the back, we can see all of the different elements that this gun has. It's claiming it has a up to 12-inch fan, which I am a big fan of. Now, one thing I notice here right away is the swivel fitting action on the bottom of the gun. Something I'm really not a fan with the 1.0, which is why I kind of got rid of it. And it was a little bit heavy on the heavy side. Guys, I wasn't a fan really of the 1.0 version, but I'm hoping that this one will be a lot better. And I will tell you, up to about 5 years ago, cheaper spray guns have really done a good job of atomizing paint, and they've come a long way. It's one thing to really note, guys, that this is the Black Widow by Spectrum. So it's not actually Harbor Freight's brand, obviously. So this is a real tool company making, obviously, a real tool. So we can see everything kind of here is stuffed into the box. We have the PPS adapter, of course, if you want to use their brand. I'll look to see if I have something that works today. Now, I do remember the packing of the first original one being a lot nicer than this, but not a big deal, to be honest. At first glance, well, it's not a bad looking gun. It's not a large gun. It's not a small gun. It actually fits into your hand well, and wow, what a major improvement they've done on the trigger here. The trigger seems to be a lot more smoother, not completely smooth, but let's take a look at the knobs. One thing I'm liking right away is the side knob is gone. One thing I hate with spray guns, a little bit older spray guns have that fan adjustment on the side. They did away with that. It's a little bit more modern. Of course, we have our air valve at the bottom, and usually cheap spray guns, I notice that they just keep on turning and turning and turning. This one, guess what? It actually stops. So first thing you're going to want to do is make sure this is completely open. Take a look at the fans, and everything seems to be solid. No better, no worse than a cheap spray gun. So we'll leave that guy wide open. And from here, we're going to do our adjustment already on our fluid. And this will adjust just the same way. Now, some people think that this is how far the trigger goes back, and that is actually true, but the reasoning behind it is because this is how much fluid will be released. So what we'll do is we'll back this guy up almost all the way, and we'll pull the trigger all the way, and we'll start to turn it clockwise until it stops. And now we're set at wide open. And wide open means that we got a little push here on the trigger, and the max amount of fluid from this point is coming out of the spray gun. Now, of course, it has a little line here, so if you want to control one turn from wide open, you'd be right there. But for me, I like to set all my guns at wide open, so you get the max amount of performance from the spray gun. Now, this is the HTE, high transfer efficiency, and it's got the 1.3 on it. Now, as you take off the air cap for the first time, we're taking a look around, and I'm happy to note that no baffles or anything comes out of the air cap. Everything seems to be pretty solid. Of course, we have our fluid tip, and it seems to be a little bit more modern like most spray guns. Included with the spray gun is also the toolkit that matches up, so you can take this off each and every time. Now, before you start any spray gun, you want to make sure you give it a quick spritz or a quick cleaning. You never know if these come with oil from the actual factory, so a quick clean is always the way to go before you get started. Now a quick look into my toolbox, and I was able to find the correct PPS adapter. This is an S9, so I'll put the link in the description, and this is for the 2.0 PPS, okay? So keep that in mind, but everything will be in the description for you guys so you get the proper one. So for this point, all we need to do is add a gauge. Now this one does not come with a gauge, but not a big deal because most of you guys already have it. Luckily, we have one handy and ready to go. And always make sure when you're using spray guns, you're using the HVLP air fitting. You can see this is a high flow air fitting. It's much bigger than traditional air fittings. And here's the two air fittings. The one on my left is the HVLP, and the one on my right is the generic air fitting. This one on the left is a more high flow. It's allowing the gun to perform much better by not starving it for air. So if you have this fitting on your spray gun, make sure you're not using it to paint. We'll use this one in the shop for primer, and that's all we'll use it for, as well as DA sanders and such. But for painting, make sure you're going HVLP. Now once the regulator is on, you can see it swivels. Now I'm not a fan of this, and I think most people will probably agree. I know that this is kind of annoying at some points when you're painting. If you're not a fan of this, like I'm not, and I think most painters aren't, let me know in the comments, because this can kind of be a little bit annoying when the hose is whipping around. They did this on the 1.0, and again, this is one of the main reasons why I never really used the gun again, because it was just a little bit annoying. But if the gun performs, we'll leave it at that, and maybe we can always tape it, if anything, to make sure this doesn't move. Now for this spray job, we're going to be blending this back bumper into the middle of the bumper, and we're going to be blending this small area. Now keep in mind, it's a small blend, but we have to make sure that the blend blends into the rest of the color, and our clear coat is nice and smooth like OEM. So a true test for a cheaper spray gun. So before we paint, a couple pro tips that will help you. I always like to take the air from my spray gun and blow it into my tack rack. So any of the dust or debris that is on the panel, it blows right into my tack rack as I am tacking. Now for this job, I'm using an extra slow reducer because I don't know how this color is going to blend. I've never sprayed this color before, and from what I hear, it's a tough color to paint and blend. That's why we chose this Harbor Freight spray gun. So I'm first going to set my pressure. Let's go ahead and put color on our area only. We're not going to seal because we want to keep this small. I'm going to put it on and allow it to dry. And the way I like to blend is at a 45. I never like to go straight up because that can leave a hard line. Okay, since we're using extra slow reducer, it will not all cover, but we have a good first coat. So let's allow this to flash, and then we'll come back. So far, I think the color looks pretty decent, to be honest. It looks pretty smooth as well, but the true test is still to come. Now let's get some paint on our bumper cover. We'll start off the bottom, we'll put a light coat on, and you could seal this, but I really want this job to come out clean, so I prepare with my primer up to 800 grit, so it'll be nice and smooth. Let's allow this to flash, and then we'll come back. We gave it about 5 minutes to flash. You can see what I did in the meantime, guys. I gotta have this where it's not moving. Now pressure, don't take my word for it because it's gonna always fluctuate from air system to paint booth to do-it-yourself system, but in and around 24 to 25 PSI is where you're gonna wanna be. We can see that this color really sucks. It does not cover very well. That's after 2 coats, but again, the extra slow reducer does not help with the coverage. It's gonna help it go on smoother, but it's not gonna help it. I'm not even gonna start to do my blend yet. Let me get full coverage, maybe one more coat here. It's still a little bit light in person, and then we'll start with our blend. So far, an easier to spray gun than the 1.0. 180 bucks though, can you really beat it so far? We'll find out. The main thing I like to look for is the orientation of the metallic, the spray pattern, and how well it lays down the paint. I don't want to tell you that it doesn't put on a lot of paint because of my poor coverage. I think that really has to do with the actual color trying to cover. But one more coat here and then blend it out and we should be good. So far the 1.3 with the HTE is atomizing the paint pretty well. The gun is a little bit more on the heavier side, but definitely lighter than the 1.0 version. I gotta say though, it looks pretty good. I don't know how well that finish will hold up. It looks like it could hold up pretty well, but over time, even the expensive spray guns like my DV1 or the Vilibus spray guns, even though they have that nice coating, they all get dirty, guys. If you're spraying each and every day in and out of the booth, they're gonna get caked up, so make sure you keep them nice and clean. Let's allow this to flash for 10 more minutes. We got a lot of paint on there. Now, while that dries, I'm gonna tell you something. I know it can be tough because I might make a review on a spray gun one week and another review on another spray gun another week. You run and buy that spray gun, and then I make another spray gun review that might seem better. But listen, all the reviews I do, you do not need to buy every single spray gun. These reviews are for people to help them make a decision. And there's plenty of other reviews on YouTube by very accredited painters. You can see them all over YouTube, and they make great videos. So something that I leave out, you might be able to find from someone else. So watch all the reviews, including mine, and then see, is this a gun for you? Luckily, I paid 180 bucks. I could have used a coupon, but these are not really expensive guns. But what we're really concerned about is the longevity. So far, it seems like it's built pretty well. Now, I gave that another 5 minutes. It looks like it's ready for its third coat. I gotta say that the color looks good. It's blending out well, but the paint here, that's one of the main reasons. This is some good paint, and it lays down super nice with it extra slow. We can see here after it dried, it looks like it's got great coverage. So I'm gonna do one more coat, and then one more coat over here, and then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna dial right back into here and do the blend out, and that's it. So it's gonna look something just like this. Coverage, right? Still wet. Gonna come over to here. Now the bumper really is not gonna be tough to blend. Bumpers you can blend all day. They got plenty of body lines to lose the blend. But over here, this guy, I'm gonna come a little bit further. So I was right around here. I'm gonna dial it back a few inches, and then I'm gonna come at a 45. Here. I'm done. Walk away. This is gonna blend out nice and smooth. You can see the color looks great. Over here, really don't have to do what I just did, but it's not gonna hurt. Just like that. Voila, it's done. We'll let this flash. We'll show you how to clean this out real quick, and then we'll test it out for clear coat. So we're ready for clear coat, guys. Now, over here, we're not gonna put any base, because if we have any difference in color, our sensors right here, we want them to match. So Juan did a great job scuffing this up, and these are very hard edges and they can break through, so good job, Juan. This is the only one where we got a little bit of base, but this is all covered well. Now over here, this blended out fantastic. One of the things that I'm looking for, I wanna make sure there's no mottled or no zebra stripes, nothing like that. And I don't see that. Two things, the paint and the gun, okay? More so the paint. More so the mix-up of the paint is gonna really help you out. You can have an even worse gun than maybe the cheapest gun in the world, but if you have good paint out of a bad gun, it's still gonna lay down good enough if you know what you're doing. So we're gonna leave it like this. We're ready to clear it, but I showed you and talked to you guys about you only need one gun, really, if you're do-it-yourselfer. So let me show you how to clean it out real quick. So the good thing with the PPS is they're really easy to use. So you're gonna come here, press it, get most of it out, and then you come over to a dirty towel, and never clean this out. Like, never start cleaning it from here, because you're gonna make a bigger mess. Just wipe it as much as you can, get out. Then your air cap, you don't wanna clean it with your air cap, because your air cap is just the air cap. It's got no paint in it. Do you see that? But if you start to clean it with your air cap, then you're gonna get paint in it. So don't do that. You need to get some of this. This stuff is gonna make your life really easy. You don't need to fully break down your gun, but in between coats, this is all you do. Come over here. So get yourself a bucket, and then you're gonna use this little nozzle here, go all the way in, start going and getting it all out. And this literally will probably take you no more than 20 seconds to get it cleaned up. And in half the material, you don't need to use a big lacquer thinner bucket filled with lacquer thinner. And we're good to go. Spray it in there. It's ready for clear. There's no need to spray the air cap right now. You can clean it after clear, because it'll get a little buildup. But we're gonna see how well this atomizes clear coat. So we're ready for clear. Now you can see I always tape up my cup, because one or two uses of this PPS cup, paint gets on a clear coat and it can flake right off into your paint job. Now we're ready to clear. We're gonna use the same settings. I might bump it up around 25, 26 PSI. The whole goal here is to trick our advisor and not let him know we used a cheap spray gun. Let's go ahead and clear.
Woo! Not bad. Wow. All right. I see you, Harbor Freight. All right. Harbor Freight. Oh, shit. Come on. Where you at? Where you at? Hey, not looking too bad here, bro. Not too wet on the first coat, though. Not too wet. Just getting the paint on. 75% overlap. Yep.
Woo! He's never gonna know until he watches the video.
Oh yeah. Clear on clear. No. This thing don't have any dirt in it. Nice and clean. Good speed. Alright.
I'm impressed. Not my top gun, I gotta say, but I'm impressed, guys. If you're looking to get a gun to do a lot of things, I picked one of the toughest colors. I picked a really tough advisor. I picked a really expensive car. And it's looking pretty good. So the worst thing you can do right now is jump into the second coat, give it time to tack up. Now it's gonna become like a backside of a piece of tape, really tacky. We're gonna lay that second coat on. We'll hop back in there. Ready for that second coat? I'm gonna lay it on a lot wetter. I gotta make it look like a factory peel. I don't think this guy's gonna know. I really don't think he's gonna know. What do you guys think? I think we're gonna do it. Woo. Wow. Show them what it looks like. Yeah. Let's go see if we can find Emilio and show him. Let's first ask him what he thinks about Harbor Freight, if he knows Harbor Freight. Come on. Wow. Emilio! Yo, Emilio, yo, listen. Just painted your car with the Harbor Freight spray gun.
Nah.
Yo, go check it out. I'm not lying to you, bro. I'm not lying to you. Let's go check it out. You know how to do it, though, and how to use your car. I know that it's just a lease, so it don't really matter, to be honest. If it didn't come out good, it didn't matter.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, watch this wet paint. Bro, what do you think?
That Harbor Freight?
Yo,
How much?
bro, it's only 180 bucks.
I mean,
I know he trusted me to do this job, like, but you gotta trust me. I would have fixed it if it wasn't right, but it looks good, right?
alright.
All right, he's happy, he's happy, he's happy. It don't really matter what the gun is, no matter who the painter is, right? All right, you know? Well, you guys saw it right there. It made no difference. I tell you time and time again, if you're practiced enough and know what you're doing, you have good paint, buy good paint. I'd rather you guys buy better paint than a better spray gun. It's gonna come out good. I mean, check it out. Check this thing out. We got color nowhere near here because we're using our exhaust towards the back. This bumper, it looks sick, smooth, fresh. All this is clear on clear. The finish is a factory orange peel, flat orange peel. That's exactly what we want. We want this car to look untouched. It's untouched. It's perfect. I'm really loving it. Check out the gloss, guys. Hey, kind of surprised me, but let me give you my final thoughts about this gun. So again, my intent is not to send you to the Amazon store or the Harbor Freight or anywhere else to keep on spending money, guys. But the gun is good. It's better than the 1.0 version. It's less bulky. It's more efficient to the point, meaning it's spraying your paint and it's clean. I like that about this spray gun. Hell, I paid for this spray gun. No one sent it to me for free. And I gotta say, I'm happy with the way it sprays. It definitely would make my top 5 of cheap spray guns, but it is on a higher tier of the cheap margin. We got $60, $70 spray guns that could do the exact same thing, but what's the longevity like? I don't know that. So we're gonna keep on making spray videos like this so we can determine, hey, do these spray guns last a long time? But for my budget guys, definitely pick up one of these if you're interested. It's not gonna kill you. I know they run a coupon on it and it's a fair spray gun. So I hope you enjoyed this review. We'll go ahead and check it out one more time once it comes out of the booth. Guys, this is Brian from Paint Society reminding you, don't overthink it. It's just paint. I'll see you guys on the next episode.